on Friday, and wanted to talk to you real quick about the president and what has taken place today at the White House now that we have this coronavirus pretty much cracked down. Everybody just hanging out at home. And I'm going to say something about that in a couple of minutes. But there's a few things that I want to go over here first about the president and what took place at the White House. You don't have to be on social media for about, 20 seconds or less, and you're going to see a video today of President Trump in the presser room and having an exchange with a guy named Peter Alexander from NBC. And Trump's taking a lot of heat. He's taking a lot of heat because of the answer that he gave Peter Alexander. I'll give you the quick snapshot of probably what you've seen if you haven't watched the whole presser. And this happened at about 56 minutes into the press conference, so I could see where a lot of people would have dropped off at that point because this was the Q&A part. Alexander was pressing Trump questions about a drug that Trump is looking to get out tested to see whether or not it will help with coronavirus. And Trump is trying to be very optimistic about the potential that this drug may actually be able to help. Now, meanwhile, the scientists and the doctors and everybody else will be the first one to tell you that there is currently no cure and no treatment for COVID-19. I say it all the time, too. I have to because I have a CBD company, and it is required of me to put it on all of my pages or else I'll get a letter from the FDA. So we understand there's no cure, there's no treatment. But everybody wants to see, hey, do we have something? Can we get something? Now, there's two reasons why people want to know if we could get something. The first reason is, if you come down with it, you want to know that you're going to get better. Nobody wants to die. That's human nature. The second reason is that this is turning out to be one of the biggest, greatest inconveniences in American history. And I'm going to get to that at the end of the video here. But let's get back to Peter Alexander. See, what the mainstream media, like NBC and CNN, thought was going to happen was they thought that Trump was going to fall flat on his face with this whole coronavirus thing. They thought we couldn't get him with Mueller. We couldn't get him with the impeachment because those two things were fake. Well, the coronavirus is real. Actually, let's take it and make it 10 times more real than it really is. And we're going to do what we do great. We're going to scare the living crap out of everybody. That's what we're going to do. Every single hour, at the top of the hour, in fact, let's do it every 15 minutes. We're going to come up with something new, breaking news. Tom Hanks has coronavirus. See him live. He put out a video live from his hotel room, and he's having a Vegemite sandwich. Oh, my God, he doesn't look sick. Neither does half the other celebrities that are coming out here. And everybody's singing songs. We are the world. We are the children. It's this big, huge drama fest. And what's happened is President Trump has done a pretty good damn job. He's done a pretty damn good job. Yeah, they thought he was going to fall flat on his face, and he hasn't done it. What he did is he took immediate action, and he took all different things that leaders have to do, especially when you're chasing a ghost, when you don't know what it is that you're looking at, and nobody really knows what it is, and everybody's guessing and throwing guesses against the wall and see what sticks. So what does he do? He puts reliable Mike Pence on the job. Mike Pence gets on there. They got a whole bunch of other different big corporate guys all coming in, all willing to do their part. Corporate America stepping up. President Trump trying to have daily pressers so this way people could get some answers. And so what's happening is that Peter Alexander and all of his fans over there at NBC, they all see that this isn't going to work. Because last time I was with you, I was sitting right here in the same backyard. I told you this was going to backfire. This was going to backfire against the press. It was going to only empower and embolden Trump. And the reason being is because it's not Trump's fault that the stock market is losing half of its value. It's not Trump's fault that people are home right now, not working. It's not Trump's fault that the hotel industry is probably not going to be able to survive as we know it. It's not Trump's fault that bars and restaurants and now haircutteries and every place else is out. You know whose fault it is? It's the media's fault. Because the media has built this thing up to being like an asteroid is going to crash into the United States of America and everybody's going to be dead. Run for your lives. And oh, by the way, grab toilet paper. Because just before you die, you're going to crap your pants. And you're going to want to go to heaven clean, are you not? And so that's why everybody's so scared. And so what's happened is the message in the media has been the doom and gloom. And after a while, it's like that game where somebody starts to say one thing and another person says something. Before you know it, the message is all over the place. The media has pumped this thing up more than anything else in our history. And so because of that, there's a lot of uncertainty, even the markets. Hey, wait a second. Is this thing as bad as what they're saying it is? And Trump the whole time has been handling himself like a true professional, like a true president. My personal opinion, he should have just left Mike Pence up there. Let Mike Pence give them all that they deserve in the media, the bullet points. Let the American people know what's going on. And Trump did a great job the other day. You need a test, you go on a website, you got symptoms, we're going to tell you where to go, we're going to roll this thing out, we're going to move as fast as we possibly can. Let me tell you why it is that you should know that Trump's doing a pretty good job. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to hear what Peter Alexander has to say. I don't care what Sean Hannity has to say. I don't care what Rush Limbaugh has to say. I don't care what Sam Donaldson, is he even still around, has to say. It doesn't matter. What matters to me are the numbers. I told my audience who's on teamdml.com, and I'll be talking to them tonight at 8:30 at length about this. I told you that the numbers this weekend would hit 25,000. We're climbing in on 20. We're going to hit 25,000. I will have been right again. But here's the miraculous part. We're still at 200 deaths, 216 or 220, whatever the number is. And it's 220 too many. Never want to see anybody demise. Never want to see it. But we are at a 1.4% death rate, whereas Italy is almost at 9%. Why is that? It's two reasons why. Number one is Italy has the second oldest population in the world. Only Japan beats them. Number two is this president took unprecedented steps and jumped in very early and made some hard decisions that kept people out of the country from making it spread. There's nothing we can do ultimately when something starts in another country and eventually it's going to get here, other than what President Trump has done. He has done nothing wrong. They want to get on his ass about face masks. They want to get on his ass about respirators. Nobody else is to blame for any of this stuff. Nobody else is to blame. I'll tell you who's to blame. The purchasing manager at all these hotels, at all these places where it's supposed to have hotels, hospitals, where they're supposed to have all these supplies. You know what it is? They don't want to overbuy. You want to know why they don't want to overbuy? Because they are told by their administrations, by the hospital administrations, don't overspend. They're counting pennies there. You want to know why they're counting pennies? Because the nation's going broke on health care, because we're paying for people's health care that we shouldn't pay, namely illegal aliens. But aside from that, that's a whole nother conversation for another time. What you don't see in these clips that are circulating around Facebook and Twitter and what you're seeing on the news, you're not seeing the full exchange between Trump and Peter Alexander. Peter Alexander had asked a series of questions. Trump gave him very congenial, solid answers. Hey, do we know if this new drug that we're looking at is going to work? We don't. But what the hell do we have to lose? Let's give it a shot. Let's do it a little testing. If it works, it's a game changer. If it doesn't work, all right, what do we have to lose? We're still here. We're doing our job. We're doing everything we possibly can. We inherited a horrible system, and we're doing the best we possibly can with it. But I'm optimistic about it. And I like the idea of getting it in here. I'm a smart guy. I've been around for a while. This drug's been around for 20 years. I've seen it. It's not really a dangerous thing. It looks like it works pretty well. Let's give it a shot. Very reasonable answer. As far as I'm concerned, that's a very positive, optimistic answer. Hey, we don't know if it will work, but let's give it a shot. I think any one of us would say the similar thing. But that wasn't enough for Peter Alexander. He kept pushing back. And what people aren't playing is the question that he asked prior to Trump giving the answer. After Trump had given him a solid response to the two questions he asked another one. Isn't this maybe you trying to put a spin on this? Aren't you trying to be overly optimistic? Isn't this your kind of attempt to try to make it sound like things are better than they are? There are 200 people dead. Let me tell you something. This weekend, odds are high. We'll have 200 people killed in South Chicago from gunfire. By tomorrow night, we'll wind up having probably 200 people dead in 2 days from drunk driving. There's a lot of things that people are going to be dead from in 2 days. But you know what? Why not celebrate the fact that we are among all the nations in the world only being beat by South Korea? South Korea right now is at 1.1% death rate. We're at 1.4. So why is it that we're not celebrating that? Why not? I'll tell you why not. The numbers this weekend will continue to skyrocket in terms of how many people have the coronavirus. And that's because people are actually getting tested now. So it looks like sticker shock. Oh my God, we were only at 1,200 last week. Now we're at 25,000. Oh my God, this is horrible. The numbers are scaling. No, it's not. They're reasonable because people are getting tested. But you know the success rate of people who aren't dying? 99.4%, 98.6%. 98.6% of people aren't dying. They're getting sick. They're figuring it out. They're going home. They're getting better. Just saw a guy on Fox News, on Neil Cavuto. He was sick. He's home. Says he feels great. He's going to keep himself contained, but he feels great. So President Trump that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to kick me in the teeth. You can't find something to get me on. So now you're going to try to get me that I'm overly optimistic. And so Trump comes back and says, no, I'm not being overly optimistic. I'm not being overly optimistic. And then he moves on to John from Fox News to get a new question. And then Alexander, still rude, you know what, has to jump in with another question because he's going to steal the show. He hasn't gotten Trump down yet. He's got to try to kick him in the nuts. What do you say to the people, 200 people have died. What do you say to the people who are scared at home? That's total sensationalism. Listen, I know. I had a television show. All right? I know what sensationalism is. You raise your voice, tonight, breaking news. That's not the way anybody talks. You say, tonight, there's breaking news? Yeah. Tonight, breaking news right now. That's what he wants. And Trump knows it. And Trump's not going to fall for it. So Trump didn't screw the American people by not giving them a message of what do you say to people who are scared right now. Trump has said it 50,000 times over the last week. Calm down. Don't panic. We're doing a good job. We're getting test kits. We're rolling things out. We're moving as quick as possible. And it's just not enough for these guys. So listen, anybody can take a message and just chop it and make it look a certain way. And that's what you're seeing right now. You're seeing everybody in the media try to chop that message and look like Trump is coming unhinged. And he's not. He's not. Personally, I don't think he should be doing these pressers. I think it's beneath him to be doing these pressers. And what I mean by that is let the people who are on the ground working it every single minute, let them go and let them do it. You be the president. Once in a while, do your videos, put your little videos out, do them up on Twitter, do an interview with Sean Hannity, even do an interview with somebody else if you want to do it. Everybody knows that you're there, you're at the top. Mike Pence is going to get on the stage, and he's going to say every single time, under the president's leadership, the president he's been telling us to do this and telling us to do that. Pence is going to be the good soldier boy. Let him out there and do that. Don't feed into these idiots, President Trump. You're doing a fantastic job. Don't let these guys control the narrative. That's it. And then they're going to put these clips out to make it look like Trump is unhinged. And that's not what he is at all. That's my 2 cents on what's happening here. So, with that in mind, keep in mind that, coronavirus, like any other virus, is something we don't want. But the fact that this country's at an absolute standstill is ridiculous. This was manufactured by the press. This is manufactured by the press. And so don't for a moment let go of that, because all the people are losing their jobs, and all the people who are losing their livelihoods, and all the people who are losing their retirements, and all the people who are losing unbelievable time, graduations being canceled, weddings being canceled, all these different things being canceled. Is this overblown? Is this overblown? You tell me. In a couple of weeks from now, when that death toll is very, very low, here's what you can expect. And then I'm going to end on this. If the death toll is low, every governor in this country is going to look to take credit because he or she said we all had to quarantine. If the number is high, they're going to say we didn't quarantine fast enough. And the next time there's a flu or something like the flu and coronavirus, they're going to make you lose your shirt well before. So we're screwed in that sense. So the best thing Trump can do is continue to get up there and tell the people that we're trying all the different stuff and we're doing the best we can. Because the majority of America, believe it or not, even though the majority of America voted for Hillary, go past that. The majority of America understand that it's a virus. And you can't see it, and well, you can touch it, but you don't know you're touching it until later on. They understand that the president and his team are doing a pretty damn good job. And at the end of the day, they're going to listen to the statistics. They're not going to listen to NBC or Peter Alexander. They're going to see we had a lot of cases and we had very few fatalities compared to those cases. And boy, did we really have to shut down the whole entire country like we have? That will be a question you'll be left to answer. I know my opinion, and I'll be sharing it more tonight on TeamDML.com. If you're going batty crazy, and you want to have some good entertaining fun and at the same time learn a lot, go to teamdml.com. Take a couple of bucks out of your pocket for the month. Sign on to our membership. We're growing like mad. We've been around for a year and a half. People don't leave. They love it. So come on in there tonight, and we'll keep on telling you what's going on. Got great statistics coming up tonight. Going to be showing you a lot of different videos that nobody's showing you. And we're also going to talk about these